U.S. aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman. Spread in Strait of Hormuz for stability.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel Breaking News TV. We are here again with another breaking news.
A U.S. aircraft carrier ordered by the White House to rapidly deploy to the Mideast over a perceived threat from Iran has transited the Strait of Hormuz. For the first time since its deployment, the U.S. Navy says the USS Harry S. Truman transited the strait on Tuesday, making its way to the Persian Gulf. The carrier left Norfolk, Virginia in April and was diverted to the Middle East in May, but it had remained in the Arabian Sea, avoiding passage through the strait that borders Iran. The Trump administration deployed the Lincoln to the Persian Gulf amid a spike in tensions with Iran. This came as the U.S. declared the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps IRGC terrorist organization, effectively isolating the organization financially as well as diplomatically. In response, Iran issued a number of perfunctory but ineffectual declarations that the U.S. armed forces are also terrorist organization. Iran further warned U.S. forces to cease any further advance into the Persian Gulf, predicting catastrophic outcomes if they do not retreat. On November 20, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Mikhail Bogdanov made the remarks on Wednesday, one day after U.S. President Donald Trump notified Congress of the deployment that would increase the total number of American troops in Saudi Arabia to 3,000. With these additional forces, the total number of United States Armed Forces personnel in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will be approximately 3,000. These personnel will remain deployed as long as their presence is required, it added. On the 1st of December, USS Harry S. Truman, CVN-75, crossed into the eastern Atlantic Ocean on Sunday, entering the U.S. Sixth Fleet area of responsibility as part of a deployment widely believed to include relieving USS Abraham Lincoln, CVN-72, in the Middle East. We are ready to continue our steadfast commitment to our allies and partners in U.S. Sixth Fleet, Rear Admiral Andrew Loisel, the commander of the Truman Carrier Strike Group, said in a statement. These vital sea lanes must remain open for global commerce and prosperity, and nothing in the world is able to foster regional security like a carrier strike group. Truman quietly left Norfolk, Virginia for deployment late last month after being sidelined since the end of August with an extensive electrical malfunction as the Navy worked to correct the problem with Truman's electrical distribution system. Abraham Lincoln's deployment to the Middle East was extended. Truman's delayed departure also spurred the Navy to deploy the carrier escorts from the Truman CSG without an air wing or carrier to escort, forming a surface action group destroyer Squadron 28 with Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers USS Lassen, DDG-82, USS Farragut, DBG-99 and USS Forrest Sherman, DBG-98, worked up with Truman in its air wing. During the summer and September, these ships deployed as a SAGAN are now in the Persian Gulf supporting Abraham Lincoln CSG, whose own escorts left the region once relief Arleigh Burke-class destroyers USS Bainbridge CVG-96 and USS McFall BG-74 are accompanying Truman as it cruises east. Lieutenant Andriana Janu-Albi, a Navy spokesperson, told US News Bainbridge had been part of the Lincoln CSG and returned home to Norfolk in early November from deployment before heading out again to escort Truman. On December 3, the USS Harry S. Truman has begun operations in the Atlantic Ocean, marking its first deployment into European waters this year. The Navy said the aim of the deployment is to show commitment to allies in the region, Truman and Rear Admiral Andrew J. Loisel said. Russia has stepped up naval activity in the Mediterranean and the Arctic, causing concern for U.S. military commanders in Europe. The Truman Strike Group will perform missions in the Naples, Italy-based 6th Fleet area of operations before it moves to the Middle East, where the carrier is expected to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea, where it was dispatched earlier this year as tensions with Iran escalated in 2018. The Truman deployed to the Mediterranean, where it conducted airstrikes against ISIS targets in Syria and performed the first aircraft carrier patrol in the Arctic since the Cold War. The Truman's entry into U.S. European Command territory comes as President Donald Trump heads to London this week for a meeting of NATO leaders on Tuesday. Allies are expected to discuss security in Europe, including an alliance initiative focused on boosting the combat readiness of Allied aircraft, ground units and warships. The NATO initiative, called the 430s Plan, calls for NATO by 2020 to have 30 battalions, 30 air squadrons and 30 warships that can be in action within 30 days' notice. Trump also claimed that the American military buildup in the Middle East is meant to protect United States interests and enhance force protection in the region against Iran to assure our partners deter further Iranian flow bucket of behavior and bolster regional defensive capabilities. Additional United States armed forces have been ordered to deploy to the Middle East. He further claimed tensions have been running high between Tehran and Washington since last year, when Trump unilaterally withdrew the U.S. from the 2015 multilateral nuclear deal, unleashed the toughest ever sanctions against the Islamic Republic. In the past few months, the U.S. has also taken a quasi-warlike posture against Iran and stepped up its provocative military moves in the Middle East, among them sending an aircraft carrier strike group and a bomber task force to the region. Meanwhile, the U.S. has been trying to persuade its allies into joining an international coalition with the declared aim of providing security for merchant shipping in the Strait of Hormuz and other strategic Middle Eastern shipping lanes. Washington has accused Iran of having a role in a series of attacks on oil tankers, a claim Iran has strongly rejected.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe for our channel.